So, good afternoon, everyone. And today we are having the last session of this NLP practitioner course. And this last session is all about feedback. And what we will be dealing with is something very, very interesting and exciting. This is called art and science of feedback. So, feedback has its own art, feedback has its own science. And science and arts are part of the same system. Scientific way of putting it in an artistic solution or in an artistic way of putting the science in front is something amazing, and that is what feedback scientific is all about in NLP. So before we do that, just let me welcome all of you, and I would like to have some quick feedback about your um participation or your expectation or what you have received by participating in this NLP workshop series. So I would like to have some feedback from you. Would you like to share?
Um, yeah, shall I start,
Yeah,
Pinaki?
Deepa, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Uh, uh, from the NLP classes, especially the ones which I've attended with you, has reinforced my ability that I can do anything and everything. Everything is within me. My ability to trust myself, that I can unlearn, relearn, and upskill myself. Age or my abilities, my health condition is not at all an impediment to anything. It's all in my mind and I can achieve it. It is, if I can't blame anyone, I can't pass the buck on anyone. If I'm not doing something, the blame is on me. If I'm able to accomplish something, again, the applaud and I have to pat myself. Yeah, the support system is there. Family, the environment is required. And primarily, what I've learned is positivity, lot of positivity from you. How positive I can be, and I can be more positive. I can accomplish more. So that is some of the takeaways I've had from your session. So
Okay. Wow, that's simply awesome. Yeah, Pallavi.
thank you, and eternally grateful for that.
My pleasure, Deepa. It's a big thing for me. Good. Yeah, Pallavi, would you like to share your experiences about this workshop?
Sir, I just, as Pallavi prepares herself, I just want to add something. With
Hmm.
I shouldn't have hesitation. Um, we think too much about the results, so I'm little hesitant, but I'll try to overcome that.
Hmm.
I'm planning to take up company secretary course
Hmm.
at the grand old age of 55.
Hmm.
I don't know whether I can do it or not. It
Hmm.
sounds silly, but
Hmm.
or maybe not so silly. But okay, I just want to enroll, and I feel I can do it. My core heart, in the innermost my heart. It might take 3 years. I keep saying 3 years or 30 years. Time is okay, fine. It's irrelevant, but I'll do it. In June, first week, the exams start, the executive level exams start.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So now maybe in a couple of days, I'll go and enroll. And along with the children who are like in their 20s, I'll write with them. I'll compete with them. It sounds silly. It might be like that movie joke. They'll think I'm a teacher or a person who has come to conduct the exam for them, but I'll be sitting along with them and writing. So, yeah, but I think I'll just enroll and just go with the flow and do it and see how it turns out next year around this time. So I just thought,
Yeah.
since not many people are here, so I thought I can just share this.
Yeah, it's a good attempt. Very good one. My only suggestion would be that whatever you are doing, just think about it. That what's next, and how like having a new degree uh, will go to affect your quality of life in the coming
Yeah.
5 to 7 years.
Yes.
See, whatever
Yes.
you are today is a result of whatever you thought 5 years ago,
Yeah.
at least 5 years ago. Okay. So
Mm.
it's not a question of what you are going to study. It's a question of what you are going to be, where this study will help you.
Mm.
So you need to figure out that thing first, that this is where I want to be. This is what I want to be. And if I want to be that way as a human being, I'm not talking about as a student or as a career opportunist. I'm talking about as a human being. This is what I want to be. And once you have a complete clarity on that, then you come back. It's not like going from here to there. It's coming from there to here. That you set up that this is what I want to become. This is I want to contribute to the humanity as a human being. And if I want to contribute this, what kind of education I need for that? So it's not about just studying and getting a degree. Are you getting my point? What I'm talking about?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So like
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm getting request or suggestion from many people that why don't you do a psychology in MA, like MA in psychology. So okay, that will only add a degree to me. What I need to find out is that how it is going to help me otherwise. Do I really need a degree to serve the humanity, or I just need to enhance my degree of serving the in humanity? There are two things. One is a degree and whether it's going to serve the humanity. The second thing is how can I improve my degree to serve the humanity? So if I'm already serving the humanity, how I can improve the degree of that? So I am more inclined to the second question. That at what degree I can serve the humanity if I have this degree with this physical degree with. Will it really help? What else is possible if I want to serve the humanity, if I want to improve my degree in my way of serving the humanity? What other things are possible? Is this the only course which is available, or there could be many other courses which I am not even aware of? And one challenge that I received while I was studying these course materials for psychology. So again, this is a feedback that I'm giving. We are working on the art and science of feedback. So one thing which I studied is discovered is the course material doesn't contain the contemporary things that we are dealing with today, that we are talking about today. If I talk about MA in psychology, like we are talking about rewiring of brain, it doesn't talk about that. We are talking about neuroplasticity, it doesn't talk about that. Today we are talking about a combination of psychology and physiology in terms of in terms of quantum physics. I myself is a physics student, so I studied quantum physics a lot. Not only during my student days, but over last 30 years, I've studied quantum physics a lot, just for the sake of studying it. Just as a hobby, I developed my skills in all these neuro-linguistic areas. Though I became neuro-linguistic programmer after a long time, but I was studying these kind of things for almost last 30 years, 35 years, just as a hobby. So I've studied a lot about human minds. I studied a lot about how brain works. I studied a lot about how we think as a human being. What is the difference between the words that we use in our communication? I have dealt with three people in my life whom I helped them to come out of the depression, who were under the treatment of psychologists and clinical psychologists as well as psychiatrists for more than 2 to 3 years. And they came out of all those medicines within a month or so. One of them took about 3 months, but she is not taking any kind of medications now, though she was suffering for last 3 years. So what these clinical psychologists or the psychiatrists or the people who have done psychology, they did for these people. It took them 3 years, and even after that, she was on pills. And we had a conversation only for 1 to 2 months, maybe 3 months, and she's out of all those medicines. Do I still need to have a degree in psychology? These are the questions that I'm asking. That how I can increase the degree of my deliverables or degree of my uh, serving to the humanity. And for that, what kind of education I need? Okay, so both of us of the same age. So I'm also 55 years. I travel around
Wow.
the sun 55 years.
Mm.
Yeah, though I do not look like 55, that's okay. So, so these are thoughts that comes to my mind. So I think in these ways, that looking at the pros and cons of it. Like, is it going to be an asset for me? Or it's going to be a liability for me. Like, should it be? Won't it be like I am wasting my time? I have to be completely in accordance, in alignment with myself, with my life purpose. And that's why I gave this idea of working with your name last Tuesday when I was talking about that. What is the meaning and essence of your name? So whatever new learnings that you are learning, how is it going to impact that relationship with you and your name, your meaning, the meaning and essence of your name? So that is where you need to think nowadays. It's not about thinking in terms of just to learn something and then adding up to my list. Same with picking up books. There are thousands of books out there. Which is the book which is important for me? If I'm picking up a book, how it's going to impact my life? The whatever books I have read in last 1 year, what are the ideas which I used to work on myself? Did it really work for me? These are questions that you and I need to answer today. Yeah, it's like we have to become a masterpiece of giving feedback to us rather than expecting it from anybody else. See, that is what neuro linguistic program is fundamentally all about. It's a journey from wherever you are right now in your life towards infinite excellence in all areas you can think of. And these are all those steps to achieve that journey or to ensure that I'm aligned or I'm on track on the journey towards my infinite excellence. Why we are talking about infinite excellence? God has already sent us on this earth with anything that we could think of. Complete greatness is there, complete abundance is there, everything is there for you and me. It's my responsibility to make my life prosperous. It's not just wish. I wish you a prosperous new year. I've received wishes from thousands of people in last 50 years. But did I took the responsibility to make it prosperous for myself? That is the question. If my life is not prosperous as I thought about, then it is not because of their wishing or my wishing to others. Wishes do not produce results. Wishes do not produce results. They only produce hope. They only create hope. That's it. Hope keeps people alive, but when you're in action, you stay aligned with your dream. So now you have a choice whether you want to just stay alive or you want to do all the activities which are aligned with your dreams, which are aligned with your life purpose. And for that, you have to become a masterpiece in giving feedback to yourself. You are the only person who can give you 100% honest feedback. Nobody on this earth can do it for you. Nobody. So, like, even when I'm asking you what is your feedback about these training sessions, whatever feedback you are giving me, that is just a small part of the actual feedback that I can give to myself. Because I will be reviewing this session, I will be listening to whatever you said. I will think of that what could be those activities because of with Deepa is giving these feedback to me. Again, those are all feedbacks for me. So imagine if I become the masterpiece of best feedback for myself, honest feedback to myself, how my life could, what would be the quality of my life. It's all the feedback that I am, all the words that I am using giving that feedback. You imagine on a day, say you're supposed to get up at 6 o'clock, for example. On one fine morning, you got up at 6:20. And the first word that comes out of your mouth is a negative word, a weak word. Oh my God, I got late today. Some people also use slangs nowadays. And then they get into guilty mode. Then for next 10 minutes, they do not know what they're doing. They're wondering what to do now. Complete anxiety. They're worrying how the rest of my day will go. Many people, you will often find, they say that आज मैंने किसका मुंह देख के उठा था, है ना? If that is the challenge, see your face first. Then you don't need to uh, hold anybody responsible for whatever wrong is going in your day. घर से निकला किसका मुंह दे के निकला था. अरे ये चैलेंज है तो keep a mirror in front of your home, in the front door. So when you get out, you can see your own face. You don't need to blame anybody if it is because of somebody else's face. So imagine the kind of words that you are telling yourself throughout the day with every interaction. You know, funny part is Deepa and Pallavi, thank that at least both of you are here in this session today. The funny part is that every time when you are talking to yourself consciously, it's only a feedback that you are giving to yourself. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? Every time you're talking to yourself, you are actually giving a feedback to you. And at that moment of time, that feedback is 100% genuine for you. You believe in that feedback. You imagine when you dress up in front of a mirror, how many feedbacks you are giving yourself constantly. ये ड्रेस पहनो, वो ड्रेस पहनो, ये इयरिंग अच्छा लग रहा है, वो इयरिंग अच्छा लग रहा है, ये नेकलेस अच्छा लग रहा है, वो नेकलेस अच्छा लग रहा है, ये बैंगल अच्छा लग रहा है, ये घड़ी अच्छा लग रहा है. आप क्या कर रहे हो? हर वक्त आप फीडबैक दे रहे हो अपने आप. Isn't it? So every time throughout the day when you're talking to yourself, you are only giving a feedback to you. And imagine if that feedback is not strong enough, if that feedback is weak, it is filled with weak words, negative words, what you are inflicting on yourself, what kind of wounds you are inflicting on yourself. You don't even notice that, the way you are hurting yourself. Many times, see, most people are victims of their own hurts, own feedbacks. Do you know that? 99% people on this earth, they are victims of their own feedback. Simple feedback. Somebody tells you are an idiot and you approve that. And you say, क्या मेरे को idiot बोलता है? मैं idiot. How can you say that? Imagine every sentence that you are saying, you are approving yourself as an idiot because somebody else said so. And now you are trying to prove that you are not one. But the damage has already been done. Because eventually, if you fail to do that, you are accepting that you are that. मुझसे नहीं होगा. These are very simple statements. You know, I haven't studied accounts beyond class 10 or class 10. We have this additional paper on bookkeeping. That is the only accounts I studied. Only that much accounts I studied. And my own business is 26 years now, and I'm the only accountant in my company. I do complete accounting of my business. And since I am not a CA, so I need a CA to put his seal and sign it when I file an idea. That's it. I don't need a CA for that. It is his only job. Do I need to become a CA for that? This is what I'm focusing on. That the feedback that you are giving yourself throughout the day. And probably there are thousands of them you are giving you. You imagine those 60 to 70,000 thoughts that are coming to you. 95% of them are exactly the same ones which you thought yesterday, day before yesterday, 1 month ago, 2 months ago. 95% of those thoughts are just like that. Same thoughts repeating. This is where you have a control. You can change that 95% to 90%. Something which is on default, you can change that. This is where you need a feedback. And you need to become an expert in giving a feedback to yourself first. And once you learn that art, you can give the feedback to others also. And when you give feedback to others also, you can find amazing results happening. Amazing results happen. Feedback is not equal to criticism. Criticism is a part of the feedback. Okay, so let me share what, in terms of NLP, what feedback is all about. And in terms of NLP, feedback has 3 layers. Let me share that picture which I shared in the group today. So this is it. Okay, so you can see that. So it has 3 parts. A good feedback has 3 parts. Yeah, Pallavi, want to ask something? Okay, so feedback has 3 parts, and it's just like a burger. The first part is a positive feedback. The second part is a constructive feedback. See, this is not criticism. It should be constructive. Very, very important. The second part. Though you are saying the negative part of the feedback, it is the negative part of the feedback, but it should be presented in a way such that it actually works wonders for the other person. It must empower, encourage, motivate, and inspire the other person. Only then it can be a constructive feedback. This again followed by a positive feedback. So what we are talking about here essentially is something very simple. And the simple thing is, start with what you liked about what the other person did. So naturally here the other person is you. And if you find it difficult to talk to yourself, stand in front of the mirror and you can find the other person there. Okay. And you can talk to that other person taking your own name. So this is called Eleism. It's a beautiful technique, a scientific way of talking to yourself in the third person, and that keeps you encouraged, motivated, and inspired all day long. This is called Eleism. Illeism. Eleism. You're talking to self in the third person. So start with what you liked about what the other person did. Starting with what you liked about that whole thing that the other person did. This should be followed by what you would like them to change about what they did. if there is anything that they dig and you want them to change it, or you want that to be changed, that should have the second part of the feedback, the constructive layer. Even then, even if it is something which the person has should not be supposed to do or should not have done, you can put it in a language such that he feels or she feels that though she had done the wrong thing, but it is not being criticized. It is not being accepted, but at the same time, it is not being criticized either. This is where NLP makes the difference. The words that you use, the tone that you use while talking to that person makes the difference. And most of the time, it is not about the content, it is about the behavior. So instead of telling wrong about that person, replace it with telling wrong about his behavior, what you didn't like about the behavior, rather than the content, rather than the person himself or herself. And it can be done in many ways. One of the ways, normally the way that we talk about, but you shouldn't have done this. Notice the word but. So we talked about the positive part, that I really liked the way you presented it. You did this. And the next statement starts with but, and you negated the entire positive impact of that previous statement. And from this second part, it has to start with and. And means you are not only saying that positive thing, but you are also appreciating, acknowledging it at the same time. And then this is followed by the constructive part of it. And if you would have done this, it would have been better. And have you gone through this, it have been better. Have you done this, it have been better. Even replacing if with some other words like have you done this. So replacing if with something better. The one way of doing it is using have. If you have done this, instead of that, have you done this, with a note of, with a tone of questioning. If she sets up a condition, but when you start with have you done this or had you done this, it removes that condition. It at least makes it at it creates a sense of continuation of the same thing. And have you added this point to this presentation, it would have been marvelous. And had you actually used some of your common sense, you would have got this even better. Kind of thing. You wanted to say that he didn't use his common sense. However, the way you are presenting it as if he already has it and he must have used it. Though it is not good to use words like common sense, but in case you are unable to stop yourself from using the word common sense, you can put it this way. So this is the second part of it. And then the third part of is tell them about what else you liked. Okay, so first part is what you liked. Second part is the constructive feedback, where improvement could have been done. And the third part is again what you like and what you like, or like and what else did you like. If you have any question, you can ask me right now. So let me repeat. It should start with what you liked about the other person. That is the starting point. What you liked about the other person, or what you liked about the activity that the other person did, what you liked about that action, followed by that constructive feedback, like, and have you done this, or and had you done this, this would have had this effect on that. For example, like, I am taking this session without any visual element. Now you are giving me a feedback. You said, Pinaki, this was fantastic. I never thought that feedback can be given like this way. In fact, I never even thought in my dreams that throughout the day, every time I'm talking to myself, I'm giving a feedback to myself. I didn't even knew that I'm a result of my own feedback. These are all new things for me. That's amazing. And have you added some visuals? It would have been more impactful for me. And then at the end, you need to again touch upon something good about the whole thing. And Pinaki, the best thing about you is, and then you add some statements to it. Now, what Pinaki is feeling? Now, Pinaki is feeling, I must have added that visual thing. I know people do so much of visual things. I could have added a few more slides to it. This would have made the presentation beautiful. So now I'm only looking at what was missing. And how I can improve it, how I can enhance it, how I can use it or make it more powerful, more useful, more uh, actionable for somebody else, more interesting, encouraging, and motivating for somebody else. Now imagine, when I am saying this to you, am I not giving a feedback to myself? Instead of waiting for somebody else to give me the feedback. And imagine, when I am giving this kind of feedback to myself, won't it be encouraging, motivating, inspiring for me? Because I'm looking at every other thing as the best. Even at the end, I can tell myself, nobody can present this point better than me. I am the best while talking about NLP. I can call me best anyway, right? मेरा पूरा हक है बोलने. लेकिन ऐसा भी ना, it should not be like that I'm overwhelmed and I look down upon the mistakes or the gaps or the loopholes which could have been added to enhance this whole presentation. So the second part is primarily should be about the behavior of the person rather than the person. Or maybe some inputs which can add more value to that activity or to whatever you wanted to uh, give a feedback of. But don't criticize the person. In your feedback, don't create an identity of the person कि ये तो ऐसा ही है. Most of the time, we are a victim of that, and we ourselves tell that way to us. हम अपने आप को, we ourselves add that identity to us without even noticing. I can't read properly. Even if I can read, I can't read difficult words. Even if I could read difficult words, I fumble while reading those words. Even when I fumble those reading those words, I don't want to read at all. That's why I don't read books. Why? Because sometimes there are certain words which I don't even understand and I can't even read about them. I can't even spell them, and it works like a hurdle for me. I don't have time to get up in the morning to read. I don't have time to read. Don't add a label to yourself or anybody in your feedback. No labeling. Replace it with how. And I think the best part, this middle part, the middle segment, the constructive thing, the best way to you can handle that is by asking a question with how can. Like, did you think how can you improve this part of the presentation? Did you think how can you do this thing better than whatever way you are doing it? So when you ask with how can, it removes every other kind of hindrances in your feedback. सब कुछ हटा देता है. No criticism, no fault finding, no mistake finding. How can you make it better? How can you do it in a better way? What are your thoughts behind? Okay, I think I could give you a better idea about this feedback sandwich. If you want to share anything with me, share with me, right?
In my training session, sir, I have to give feedback. And sometimes, no, we get tempted to give a negative feedback or a very critical feedback. So, yeah, I know we have to avoid it and be more positive and encouraging feedback. But at the same time, we can't totally camouflage the mistakes. We have to bring out the mistakes in a very subtle way, in a corrective way, and so that the student feels uplifted and can come out of it. So yeah, I'll be doing that
Absolutely.
with more
Replace we with
clarity,
I.
with more clarity.
First, replace we with I.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
this is a
I
feedback
forgot
that
that.
you are
I,
giving
so
to
I
yourself.
should
Did you
flesh out of
notice
it.
that this is a feedback you are
Yes,
giving to
yeah.
yourself?
True, sir. I should correct myself in that area.
You know,
Mm.
whatever you said, it's a feedback for your own self, but you are using the word we. How it's going to work for you in that case?
Mm. Very true. Other day in our book reading session also, I changed the you to I in as many places as possible. But it's a practice, it's a habit formation thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Replace but with and. Say and
Mm.
it's a practice. You said but it's a practice.
Mm.
Don't use the word but. Use the word but with extreme care.
Mm. True, sir.
Replace word with but with and.
Yes, sir. And I'll use and, more and, avoid that other word.
Mm,
Totally go with I, me, myself, and use and more.
yeah.
Yes.
I, me, my, myself, and when. These are the words which are extremely strong words.
Mm.
Thank you, sir. Even first of all, wishing you an amazing Happy New Year. Let please, may you make your year amazing. And thank you for taking your such an amazing NLP course that has been very transformative journey for me, and it has significantly helped me in my communication skills, help me how to understand my emotion better, improve my ability to connect with others on a deeper level. Uh, by the metaphoric examples that you posed, the activity you got us to conduct. In one of the sessions, you asked us to split the room in a splitted room and do certain activity. That made the session even more interesting. And I feel very connected and very positive. And the practical way you helped us, guided us, the practical tool and techniques you used during your sessions were really helped me a lot, and I learned not only how to boost my confidence and also helped me in improving my communication skill and helped me feel more empowered with my approaches to how to face the challenge. And maybe this time I am giving you this feedback is because of the confidence that I gained because of your NLP sessions. And after getting the insight how to give NLP session, I think I have given true justice to my honest feedback.
Wow, that's so inspiring for me. Can we have our photo session? This is the last photo session of this NLP practitioner batch. Wow. Good. Diva, would you like to come on camera? Fantastic. Fantastic. So look at the camera. Keep your eyes on the camera, not on the screen, on the camera. Keep your eyes on the camera. And keep your eyes wide open. And let's count 1, 2, 3 together. And we'll freeze at 3 for a few seconds. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Super.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
My
sir.
NLP journey has been very great, and in the last आपने जो बोला था कि I am the best coach, and this is the honest feedback from you to yourself, but this is my feedback for you. You are the best NLP coach. I at least the one I know. And thank you for being there, and thank you for being my motivation, and thank you for helping me in my transformative journey. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much.
sir. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Deepa ji. There's so much learning from you too.
Thank you, Pallavi ji. You're the motivation for doing the CS for me now. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I would strongly request you to just put a few words of your feedback in the group. The group has been opened, so you can just write in the group also.
Yeah, I'll do that, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if you have any expectations from me, do let me know. I am actually thinking of continuing this journey by having a session every Thursday at 8 o'clock, and it will be only on a Q&A session.
Mhm.
So from 8 to every Thursday from 8 to 8:45, we can have a Q&A session on NLP. So if you would
Okay.
like to be there, it would be great for all of you.
It can be Thursday brainstorming session.
Yeah, basically it was just like that. So fundamentally, it's a brainstorming will be. So mostly it is it will be a Q&A based session. Let's see how it goes. So at least the whole objective is to continue the conversation, continue the relationship.
Yeah. Okay,
That
sir.
was the whole objective. So it
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah,
valuable
it's
for
a great
everyone.
idea, sir.
Yeah, it has to be valuable for everyone because we'll be recording all those sessions. We'll be sharing in the group. So I would be expecting more participation in those sessions rather than these theoretical sessions.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Goodbye.
Okay, sir. Bye.